Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We will continue with chapter 11, which will discuss recursion and arrays. We will start with the following example. It says we have in the main method, we have an array. We have two elements 10 and 20, and then we will call a method find. We will send the array and we will send the number 0. So this will call this method find. We will have the array and we have I. So the first time 0 will be I. If the value of I equal the length, we will stop. We will return nothing because this is a void method. Otherwise, I have to output the value of the array at location I. I have to call the method and I have to send I plus 1. So we will go back to the same method. We will change the value of I and again we will execute. So from the main, we have the array. We have 10 and 20, location 0 and 1. We will call the method find, where we have to send the array and 0. So in the first one, we will have our array 10 and 20 and the value of I as 0. And then we will start executing our method. So I have to go and check, is the value of I equal the length? The length, we have 20, we have two elements and the value of I is 0. 0, is it the same as the length? It's not. So we will go in the else. In the else part, I have to output the value of the array at location I. So currently the value of I is 0, so we will output the value of the array at location 0, which means the first output we will have as 10. And then I will have to go and check find list and I plus 1. So I will call the array, I will send the array, and I have to send I plus 1. Currently I is 0, 0 plus 1 it means 1. So go and call the same method. And here again I will have my array, which is 10 and 20, and the value of I will be as 1. Again, go and check the if statement. The value of I, is it the same as the length? The current value is 1, length is 2, they are not equal. We will go to the else part, and the else part output the element at location I, which is currently the element at location 1, so we will output the value 20. And then go and call the method. So I will call the method, I will send the array, and I will send I plus 1, so it should be as 2. So we will go to the last call. Within the last call, when we reach the value of I equals 2, it means when we execute the first if statement, I equal list of length, yes. So we will stop, return semicolon, it means you have to stop executing your method. So we will executing this method. We will go back, we have nothing to take back. Also, we will go back and we will go back to the main method. So what we have as an output, we have 10 and 20, which are the elements of the array. So the main aim of this method, it's instead of having a for loop from I equals 0 up to I less than length, we are writing a recursive method. It will take a value I, and it will just output each time the element at I, and then it will keep calling the method. So it's more like working in this way. I have whatever the elements, so let's assume we have 11, 12, and 13. So I'm saying print the element and then call and send the next I. Print the element, call and send the next I. Print the element and then continue. When you reach the end, there is nothing to be done, so you have to go back. Now, if you recall from previous sessions, if I just change the order of calling and doing the printing, then the order of the output will be changed. So simply, if I just move the calling just before the output, it means we will have exactly the opposite output. So we will have 20 first and then we will have 10. Because the way it will work, it will say, continue with your call, and then when you go back, do the printing. So that's why you will do the output of 20. And then when you go back, do the output, so you will do the output of 10, and then you will go back to the main method. And that's why you have to be careful with the order of the output and the calling method. Is it at the beginning, so the output, so you have to output and then proceed with your method? Or is it at the end? So you have to proceed with calling the method, and at the end you have to do the output. Now always we have to notice that we are changing the value of I by saying I plus 1. because I is starting from 0 from the first index, and I need it at the end to be reaching the length. So that's why I'm saying I plus 1. So if by mistake we just have I here, we will never reach a list dot length, and that will be just more like an infinite calling of recursive method, and we will never have an output. Let's have another example. We have the following. We have in the main, I have an array. So within the main, we have an array, and this time we have 3 elements, 1, 2, and 3, 0, 1, 2. This is the index. I will have to declare variable x, and I have to call the method find. I should send an array, and I should send 0. So we will go to this array, to this method. We have the array, we have I, so sorry, we don't have j, we have I, and we have to return an integer at the end. So here, when the first call of your method, you will have your array list, and you will have 3 elements, and you will have I initially as 0. Now go and check the first f. Do you have I which is reaching the length of the array? It's not, so we will not do the f. I will have to go to the second else. Go and check the element at I modulus 2, is it 0? So go and check the current element if it is an even number. Because the current value of I is 0, so list of I, it means I'm looking at value of 1 because this is location 0. Is it an even number? It's not. So I will go to the last else. In the last else, it says here, all what you have to say is return, and then the name of the method, and you have to send the array, and you have to send I plus 1. Current I 0 plus 1 will be 1. So I will have to call my method for the second time, and I have to execute all these statements. So here I have my array. Again, I will have 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, location 0, 1, and 2, but the value of I will be as 1. Again, did you reach the length? Still not. Is the element you are looking at as an even number? So go to location I, which is 1. Is it even? Yes. So what I'll have to do, I have to say return 1 plus the call. So I'll have to say return 1 plus call the method, and I have to send the array and I plus 1, which is 2. So here we'll continue, and this will be my third call. Again, I should have the same array, 1, 2, and 3, 0, 1, 2. The value of I will be as 2. Did you reach the end? Still not. Are you looking at even number? Currently, we are looking at index 2, which is a 3. This is not an even number. Then I have to go to the last else. So here I'll have to say I have to return the value of find location list I plus 1, which is a 3. And then we will be calling the last call. So call number 4. And we will send the value of I to be as 3. And here we will reach the base case if I equal list dot length. I is a 3 and list of length is a 3, so we will return 0. So we will stop here, and we will just say, I have to say return 0. Just like as we did before, always when we return, we go to the previous call. So from 4, we have to go to 3. So we will take 0 there. So the result of this is 0. I have to take it back, and this is 0. 0 plus 1 will be 1. Take it to the previous call. So this is 1. 1 should be taken to the main, and the value of x will be 1. Here, when it says here output the value of x, here when it says output the value of x, so the output you will have x equal 1. Now out of this example, what does this recursive method is doing? It's calculating how many even numbers I have in my array. So each time it will say, is this number is even? If it is even, it will say just have count 1. And then continue. Go to the next one. Is it even? It's not. Go to the third one. It's not even. And then when you finish, you just count how many ones you found. So that's why we found only 1. If we have another array with more even numbers, for example, let's have 10, 11, 20. The way it will work, is this an even number? Yes, I have 1. And then go to that another number. This is even not, so just continue. Is this an even? Yes, so you have 1, and then go to the end of the array. When you go back, just remember to do the summation. So 1 plus nothing plus 1, and then you will end up with 2. So here the idea is, the base case is when the value of I reaches the length, and remember the value of I is starting from 0, and always we say I plus 1. So this will be the base case. And that's why I have to end with return 0, because I'm doing a summation. How can I differentiate between even and odd numbers? Simply list of I modulus 2. If it is equal to 0, this is an even number. If it is an even, all I have to say 1 plus calling the method. If it is not, I'll just have to say return the name of the method.